GameStop, AMC, and BlackBerry have all had a massive price increase in their stock. Like GameStop's value went up 5 times. And this is looking a lot like what happened in 2021. For a quick refresher, it's called the GameStop short squeeze. And basically a bunch of people on Wall Street Bets got together and decided they liked the GameStop stock. And they all started buying it. And the price skyrocketed, making all of them hypothetically rich. Even though if you know how the stock market works, there's always a loser. And out of that group that was buying the stock, half of them were going to lose, but you know, they didn't think about that. And that group of first GameStop buyers was basically led by a guy named Roaring Kitty. Now I'm going to butcher this part because this part is out of my expertise. It's financial stuff. From what I understand, Roaring Kitty noticed a bunch of companies had a really extreme short position on GameStop. And the idea was is if everyone bought GameStop, these huge hedge funds would be forced to pay a lot of money if the stock skyrocketed. Because if you short sell something, you're basically betting it just goes down. So if you're short selling and it goes up, you owe them lots and lots of money. So with that being the case, Roaring Kitty bought a bunch of call options, and then he shared onto Wall Street Bets why he bought those call options for GameStop. And he explained why he thought GameStop was undervalued. Wall Street Bets loved this, and they ran with it. And that is why we got the GameStop short squeeze of 2021. That whole thing was such a big fiasco, it got the eyes of everyone to look at it. That was not just an internet thing, that was a big financial concern for a lot of people. And then once the GameStop stock rose in 2021, there was a lot of aftermath that happened. Robinhood closed down trading for GameStop, and that was not good for them. It was really bad for the brand image at the time because their whole brand image was like, hey guys, we won't manipulate the market. We're not like those guys on Wall Street. We're different. And then they stopped trading on GameStop when it was like doing really well. And the whole idea behind the GameStop short squeeze was like the average man getting the money from the big hedge funds. So them stopping trading on that didn't look good. And then on top of that, there was some conflicts of interest with Robinhood in 2021. Basically, Citadel Securities had a bunch of shorts on GameStop, but Citadel Securities has a huge chunk of money tied up in Robinhood. So there was a conflict of interest. It was alleged that Citadel Securities pressured Robinhood to stop selling GameStop or letting people buy it because that was going to hurt their bottom line. Now that was dismissed by a judge, so collusion wasn't legally confirmed to be a thing, but it definitely doesn't look good. Overall, the GameStop short squeeze benefited a few people, and those few people happen to be on Wall Street Bets. I congratulate you. But it caused a big headache for everyone else. And I imagine this time is not going to be much different. It looks a lot worse now. Because for starters, if dead company stock suddenly rises one time, that can be written off as like a fluke, right? But if it happens again, yeah, that's not good. Someone's gonna be looking into this pretty hard. I can't imagine the FTC is just gonna be okay with stocks being traded like this every once in a while. It leads to a lot of unpredictability. And it's kind of like the last thing people want the stock market to be. I know Wall Street bet traders are basically gambling addicts, so they love it being unpredictable. And of course, there are unpredictable stocks in the stock market. The stock market is gambling at the end of the day. But generally speaking, when people invest in a stock, they expect it to go up in the long term. That is why when everyone talks about the S&P 500, they tell you it has historical gains of 10% a year. Because whenever someone invests in a stock, they hope it goes up. That's kind of why you invest in them. But anyways, I doubt the FTC is going to be okay with this. It looks pretty suspicious that these stocks have risen again. And it's also the same stocks. It's GameStop, AMC, and BlackBerry. And none of these companies have done anything to warrant the stock increase. It's not like GameStop announced a partnership with Steam or something. And AMC still sucks. And the BlackBerry is still a phone no one uses. So the stock going up like this is weird. And apparently, the only reason the stock has gone up like this is because Roaring Kitty, the guy who basically caused the first GameStop short squeeze, tweeted this single image of a guy sitting up in his chair is supposedly the reason all these stocks have skyrocketed. It's supposedly the reason there are hedge funds and banks in utter disarray and panic right now. The single image is what caused all that. Now, none of this has been confirmed. We don't know if this single image somehow started all these stocks to increase in value. It could be. I mean, the timelines do line up. This image was posted and then a day later the stocks skyrocket. You know, it makes sense. But at the same time, if this single image is what caused the stocks to increase this much, the stock market has a serious problem. If one random guy online could somehow manage to get this much popularity and then become a market manipulator, we have a problem. Because this guy wasn't like a YouTuber or something before he started doing this. This is all he's done, ever. This is what the internet knows this guy for. The guy who started the GameStop short squeeze in 2021. And if this image is really what caused the stocks to increase in price like that, oh man, the FTC is gonna have such a hard time with this. Because let's assume he did know that if he tweeted this, the stocks would increase in price, right? How do you prove that this image is the reason that GameStop 5x'd its value overnight? How do you do that? And then how do you stop people from doing it in the future? You tell them they can't tweet pictures anymore? Now, that's not the only thing Flying Kitty has tweeted since this whole thing has started again. He's also tweeted a bunch of movie clips with text on it that is like really emphasized at certain points. And it looks like he's trying to communicate via these videos without saying things explicitly. That's the only interpretation I have of this, because what else would it be? But I guess it could also just be movie clips he's posting on his timeline, but that doesn't seem very likely. Because important little tidbit, this tweet of the guy sitting up in his chair was his first tweet in like 3 years. And supposedly the reason he stopped tweeting initially was because there was a potential the FTC might come after him for market manipulation, because he did kind of become the ringleader of this movement on short squeezing GameStop, and the FTC doesn't like when people do that. So that's the reason people assume he stopped tweeting. So it's a little weird to come back and tweet this, and then after that tweet, start tweeting a bunch of random movie clips with subtitles with emphasized text. That's weird. My assumption is that something is being relayed within these videos that I'm just unaware of because I'm not deep enough into the culture. But I don't know what's gonna happen with this. It's definitely weird, and something is gonna happen with this, because there's no chance the FTC is gonna see this happen twice with the same stocks and think, yeah, this is okay, we'll let this happen again. There's no chance they're gonna do that. They're gonna really be looking into this. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, because something's gonna happen. And with these stocks going up in price, as you'd expect, Wall Street Bets is currently either celebrating their wins or crying at their losses, because it's not all wins on Wall Street Bets. It's actually mostly losses on that subreddit. Like, this guy apparently YOLO'd his life savings for a 50% gain in 6 hours. Also, don't do this, like, seriously. Because, like, yeah, this guy got won money, right? But this guy lost $300,000. So yeah, don't do this. Oh, and 2 other stocks that are making somewhat of a recovery that were also involved in the 2021 thing. We have Nokia and Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, both of these stocks have had a much lesser recovery and rebound. Honestly, you could just say it's the stock market doing the stock market thing where it goes up and down, because it's not massive at all. But they had a slight increase. Either way, it's mainly GameStop and AMC going up and some BlackBerry. But it's not just the GameStop stock going up. There's an unofficial GameStop crypto coin that just hit $100 million market cap. And apparently the CEO of GameStop owns 12% of the coins. I mean, the actual coin itself isn't worth much at all. It's worth like a fraction of a cent, but hey, the line's going up, so that's good, I guess. And I want to stress that this coin is unofficial. This is not affiliated with GameStop at all. This coin is most definitely a pump and dump meme coin. I would not recommend it at all. And that's not financial advice. That's just good advice. Don't buy things that are stupid. I'd also be very careful with things that are labeled meme stocks or meme coins, because pretty much anything called a meme coin or meme stock is something that doesn't have any real value. Or I shouldn't say any real value, because GameStop obviously has some real value. Like, they have physical stores and they sell things, they have products, but the value assigned to a meme stock is usually inflated. And it would probably just be best to not touch them or get involved with them at all. But yeah, GameStop going up in price like this is just the beginning of the show that's about to start, because there's gonna be a lot of drama starting because of this. I would be shocked if there wasn't. Like, GameStop was risen from the dead twice, and supposedly the second time it happened was just because of this image that got tweeted. That's insane. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. New follow me on Twitter @spatnz1. Click the answer, check out more of my content, and have a good one.